Hello, everyone. This is Q&A Wednesday. Q.
Hey.
And I'm Emily Ashley, and this is
Bryan Strand.
the powerful, the incredible Bryan Strand. And today we have a special topic. We're going to talk about water therapy and water filters and ionizers. How do we go about choosing these? This is the guy, he's going to help us with that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great.
Good.
Okay, so water filters. Everybody needs to have a water filter, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Depending on where you live, they change from place to place.
Okay.
I think filters are good just because they've started adding different things to the water supply here in Tulsa. And
Like chloramine.
Chlorine and ammonia. And there's lots of just different, you want to get your water as clean as possible. And even if you have well water and you're not necessarily using, municipal tap water, there's some stuff that can be in your water. And I always recommend getting it tested. But yeah, filters are very, very good. We have a very good company we work with that we highly recommend. They actually custom make each filter depending on your area. And if you get like a water check, like you just send it into a lab and they see everything that's in it, they'll custom make anything that you need to get out any of the arsenic or nitrates or anything else that might be in your well water. Okay,
cool. So as far as water filtration goes, I was this dedicated Brita water filter fan.
Yeah.
So every month I was on it and I got my new filters.
So you were better than I was.
So then I came into the world of ionizers.
Yeah.
And saw that was very different. So could you talk about the difference between filtration and ionization?
Well, both are really, really important. I would say that the biggest major difference between the two of them is a lot of people confuse the two. I mean, a lot of people will think just because it deals with water, it's a filter. When filters are really, really important because what they do is they remove any toxins or anything dangerous in the water that you don't want to be putting in your body. What ionizers do is they change water back to what it's supposed to originally do for your body. So water is supposed to push out the bad, bring in the new, and kind of cleanse you out and hydrate you and make sure everything works properly. That's what water is supposed to do. And just straight filtered water doesn't wholly accomplish that. It basically, it cleans it out and puts it in you, but it's not actually doing everything that water's supposed to do, and that's what ionization, or you can ionize water by putting salts in it, but what I'm talking about is the actual electrolysis. But everyone says ionizer, so that's kind of the lingo. But ionization or electrolysis makes water do perfectly for your system what water should do.
Which is basically, the way that I understand it is hydrating on a cellular level.
Hydrating on a cellular level, and that just means, and there's lots of different research that lots of new research that all the way back to 2004, so some really new stuff where they're discovering how water actually gets into your cells. And sometimes people get that sloshy feeling when they're drinking too much water.
Water belly.
Water belly, yeah, and you're not, that means water's not doing it, it's just going to sit there and you pee it out and that's it. And so it's not actually getting in there and doing anything, and that's not what water's supposed to do, and that's what you'll get with filtered water or bottled water or Brita water or tap water, things like that.
Okay, so could you quickly just say how can people make the best decisions on buying an ionizer?
The number one thing I always recommend is, I was a very skeptical person when I had my Brita. I grew up on well water. That's one of the cleanest waters in the world up in the Black Hills in South Dakota. It was great. And then I moved to the city and I just slowly stopped drinking water. And so I got a Brita, but I replaced the filter once every 6 months or whenever I remembered. And so the problem was when people approached me and they opened up this, like you said, they opened up this brand new world where you're like, oh my, now I got ionization, electrolysis, I don't know what this is, why is it even important? Yeah. And what I discovered was I got online and I looked for the negativity, I looked for why, I looked to be comfortable with where I was at, and I went to one source. I went to a demonstration where they explained all the properties of this ionization, electrolysis, and things like that. And I went home and the first thing I did was get online and I tried to discredit it. And until somebody else presented with me with unbiased, truly, really unbiased breakdown information of all of it, and I don't think anything's 100% unbiased, but as close as you can get by doctors and other things like that. And I got online and I found all this negativity and all this stuff that was being directed at particularly with one company, which is Enagic. And they are are all comparing themselves to them, which kind of raised a red flag with me. But I just figured that's just the way it was. But everyone was just knocking the company, and so I read about 3 or 4 really good reports on about specific companies and the tactics they use to manipulate people into buying their internet machines. That's all they do, is their whole marketing is based on the internet, and you don't ever get to try the water. And it took me about 2-3 months of reading everything online, and one thing I would give advice to everybody is don't just go for what I read on the internet, or don't just go with what you read, with what you've heard from a friend who told you about Enagic or whatever ionizer company. Always say, okay, that's great, I like what the information you gave me, but I'm going to find other information and then assess it yourself, because I feel like, as analytical as I am and as analytical as like Dr. Diana is, I have confidence in all the information that I've read that I made the right decision with us using an Enagic machine here, and I think that's why Dr. Diana feels the same way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you bring up a good point, which is first-hand information. And so what we do at the clinic is we give you that first-hand information. So you can come to the clinic and we'll hook you up for a 21-day free trial so you can get the experience for yourself, see what it does for you. And then this guy offers the demos that are every Wednesday at 6 p.m. here at Synergy Holistic Health. And we are located just 2 doors down from Shades of Brown on Brookside, and then 2 doors up, you want to do it again? 2 doors up from Hibiscus. So please join us Wednesday at 6 p.m.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.